Good evening and welcome. This is a meeting of the Special Education Advisory Committee of the Halton District School Board for Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. We'll start this evening with a roll call to record who is in attendance. Please answer yes or present when your name is called. We're excited to welcome, and please correct my pronunciation if I get it wrong, Shania. Good evening from Community Living Oakville. Oh. Hi, good evening. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Shania? Oh, not sure. I don't know if she can hear me. Okay, well, I see she's present, so we'll mark her as present. Kate Lambecker from Association for Bright Children.
Present.
Good evening. Do we have Amanda with us this evening? It's Amanda Winch, are you online? No. Jennifer Laguerre. Oh, there she is. Welcome, Jennifer. Yelena. Good evening.
Present.
Sierra Kernick from Community Living Burlington.
Present.
Good evening. Melissa. Dr.
Hi, I'm here.
Good evening, Melissa. Do we have Sophia with us this evening? I don't think Sophia's joined yet. Okay. Sorry. Kaisa.
Present.
Good evening. Tara Conley.
Hello, present.
Good evening. Trustees, we have Trustee Zhang.
Present.
Trustee Ahmed, has he joined us online? No? Okay. And staff, so we have Superintendent Ruddick. Good evening. Conan Spruan.
Good evening, everyone.
And Angela Thobig.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. So we'll move on now to acknowledgement of traditional lands. We begin our meeting this evening by acknowledging the land and our responsibility to care for and respect all that provides us with life. This land upon which the HDSB is situated is the ancestral treaty and title lands of the Anishinaabeg Ojibwe Michizagig Nation, now known as the Mississaugas of the Credit. This land in the past and present continues to host non-Indigenous and Indigenous peoples from the Anishinaabe to the Attawandaron, the Haudenosaunee, and the Métis. The HDSB is committed to continuous knowledge building with respect to actions that address and resolve the ongoing impacts of colonialism. We do this by learning and understanding the true history, treaty obligations, duties, and responsibilities, and Indigenous rights while actively maintaining mutually beneficial relationships and collectively respecting and caring for the land. During this special week of remembrance, commemoration, and appreciation for those who have and continue to serve, I would also like to take a moment to reflect on Indigenous Veterans Day, which we observed just a few days ago on November 8th, to commemorate the military service and sacrifice of our Indigenous veterans, many of whom faced injustice during and after their service. We'll move now to approving the agenda for tonight's meeting, which was attached to the email that was sent out on Friday. Would anyone like to move a motion to approve the agenda this evening? Yelena? Thank you, Yelena. Can I have a seconder, please? Kaisa, do you mind? Yeah, thank you. Are there any modifications or amendments that need to be made to the agenda or any opposition to the agenda as it stands? Oh, just check online. Okay, none being seen, the agenda is approved unanimously. Next is the approval of our October 15th, 2025 meeting minutes, which were also attached to the email for this meeting. Could I ask for someone to move the approval of the minutes? Thank you so much. Anyone like to second the motion? Thank you, Sarah. Has anyone noticed any errors or omissions, or is there any opposition to the minutes as recorded? If so, please indicate that now. Okay, seeing none, the October 15th, 2025 meeting minutes are approved unanimously. Thank you. So we don't have any action items this evening on our agenda, so we'll move right into our SEAC discussion and question period. And the first item this evening is the CPP Visible Values presentation. At our last meeting in October, we had a fantastic presentation from the team at Craig Kielberger on how they are implementing the Visible Values Initiative. And tonight we're so pleased to be joined by the team from Robinson.
Wonderful. I'll just take a moment to introduce them. So again, this evening we are here to do another presentation from our Community Pathways Program sites regarding the work that's been happening over the number of years around our visible values. So I'm pleased to introduce you this evening to Stephanie Clapham, our longest standing Communication Center Assistant, and the Vice Principal, Annette Markle, who are joining us this evening to share their work at Robinson.
Hi everyone, I'm just gonna present my screen so that you can see our PowerPoint. Okay, so I'm here to talk to you about visible values at Robinson. As Angela said, I'm Stephanie Clapham, and I have been the CCA, which is code for Department Head of Community Pathways, since 2013. So we are now in our 13th year. This second slide you would have seen last month with Oliver, and this is our why. This is the statement that ultimately outlines what we do in community pathways. It explains all of the relevant and visible values that we have. In elementary, we largely help students gain skills and foundations, but in secondary, we are preparing for independence after life after 21. I've heard the quote many times, be personally happy and publicly useful, which is our goal. This is with a group of 7 CCAs and all the admin from each of those schools. We brainstormed actually all of the values or things that we want to see within our programs, and we were able to group them into these 4 main pillars or categories. And then the 2 green categories at the bottom are, they attribute to the success that is shown in those top 4 categories. So then this next slide is just a summary of those 4 values at the top, and then all of the interactions at the bottom that can help to shape those values. So there's between student and educator, educator to educator, and so on. They are interactions that happen every day in order to achieve those values. So these next 3 charts, I don't expect you to see all of them. I'm displaying them to show you the magnitude of things that we do at in the relationships category. There are 3 categories or 3 charts here: relationships, experiential learning, and student growth. And they are very, very full charts. So the reason I'm showing you those charts is because they lead to the one that will be our goal. And so for our focus from June 2024 is integration. And it's not because we don't value the other 3 categories. It's just that we felt as a team that this was a category that we could do the most improvement on. This is the one that, as you can see, our charts are smaller, and that meant we needed to do more with each of the 4 interaction groups, each of the 4 relationship groups, in order to be better and do more. So, next slide. I filled in those charts because as a group of CCAs and admin, they had wanted us to to show what we could do. But I never work alone, and there are 26 EAs, 8 teachers who are all part of our team. So I made a Google document, and I had them fill out what they thought the most important values. They had to pick their 3 top values that were important for our team, that exist, that they feel they put their effort into every day. And the top 3, ironically, were hands-on learning, independent student growth, and relationships, which are the 3 that, as a team, we already said we did really well. So then the second part of this Google form was to indicate if anything needed improvement overall in our team, and without me shaping anything, any of the ideas or suggestions that our team had brought forward, all related to integration. So it was really neat that independently I had completed the charts at an admin CCA meeting, but the team of 35 other people also had the same feelings. So it was unanimous that it really was meant to be the goal that we were going to work on at MM. So we had, prior to anything formal, so just the beginning of last year, the 2024-2025 school year, we just had a brain dump. We had a list everything that you think we could add to our repertoire of activities. And this is the chart that was the initial thought process. There were things like kids spending more time in the cafeteria, combining classes at lunch, having classes work together based on their subject matter. So that could be a grade 9 art class joining, or our students joining the grade 9 art class, or the grade 9 art class coming to us. And those were the initial ideas that we had. There's also a couple points on here that are about parents and integrating with parents. So it's not always integration with students, but home to school is also a super important area that we need to work on and grow. Okay, so I mentioned the brain dump that happened. We got right into it on the October PD day of fall of 2024. And then in November, we had a solid team day, and it was really neat to keep everybody that was MM staff together. It's as a team of special education staff, we always seek time. There's never enough time to do all of the planning together, to do all the prep together. And so it was very appreciated and valued to have that day. And this is what we focused it all on, was the integration ideas we wanted to pursue. So from the brain dump that we'd had in October, we came up with 3 different teams. One that was going to focus on lunchtime activities, one that was going to focus on extracurriculars, and the one that was activities that could happen during class time or during the school day. Each of our EAs signed up for a team, and then 2 teachers signed up. Just the way it fell, 2 teachers were part of every team, at least. And then obviously there was a couple that were left over and they joined a team. So it allowed a well-rounded group to be able to have action items and set SMART goals. The action items always had a person that was assigned to them to make sure that they got done. And then another key piece that came out of this initial brainstorm or discussion was that integration isn't always, or wasn't in all of the ideas that came out, wasn't always about a credit-bearing student or population joining CPP. A lot of it became, how can we integrate just within our program? So we have 7 different classes of kids. How can we get the students that are in ESC, potentially employable, to interact with students that are complete care? And that was the one that became very, very authentic and easier to implement because it wasn't adult driven. It was, it is ideas or tasks or activities that are driven by the students. So some examples that I want to show you as we ran through. This is progress that has existed since in all of the last school year. So 2024, 2025, after we came up and set all those action plans, this is what has fallen into place for us. So some data, prior to running with visible values, we had 6 kids that were buying lunch in the cafeteria. That has increased to 13 that consistently do that, buy lunch every week, and 21 kids, just under half of our students, that eat in the cafeteria together once a week. There are now students that eat in different lunchrooms, so not necessarily a classroom where they have their courses, which means they're interacting with kids that they might not see in their homeroom, for example. There are students that are socializing in the hall together and with mainstream or credit-bearing students. And there are now organized games, sometimes by an EA, sometimes by an ESC student, or a group of friends who just want to put together a game of cards or a board game. These are some pictures. So the students on the left here, Kiana is an ESC student, and Keaton is a non-speaking student who is in a communication class, and they have a genuine friendship that has been formed over lunchtime. And then the other two students are buying food in the cafeteria. Lunchtime is when our Best Buddies Club exists. There are now 28 students. Each student is matched with a buddy. The change that has happened through integration is that there are now complete care and communication level students that are also participating in Best Buddies. Best Buddies is led by 2 credit teachers and 2 CPP teachers. Our second team is the extracurricular activities club. These are all the ones I have listed here are all the ones that our students in CPP belong to. So dance club increased from 12 to 17 students, CPP students. Auto club now has 2 students for the first time. There's 3 kids on our football team, which was an increase by 2. The swim team increased from 3 to 8. The Cosmo Club increased from 1 to 4. Eco from 1 to 5. And cross country has 3 students. So the reason that we've had in our task of a year, why we've had so many more students join these extracurriculars is largely because of our focus on it. So there's been more strategic advertising. We have a transition class that takes on a leadership role of walking from class to class during their time to get students to sign up for extracurricular clubs. And then it's by word of mouth within our program. So we have students joining in numbers because they see that their friends are going to different clubs. We also have an increase of CPP teachers that are coaching or leading extracurricular activities and recruiting students, which also helps them get involved in more activities. And pictures that go with extracurricular. These are 3 pictures from our Eco Club of students participating in various activities. These are the one on the left is students at track and field, OFSA. Then the middle guy is at cross country, and OFSA on the right is our swim team. So these are all community pathway students that have been extremely successful on these sports teams. Okay, and our progress in the past year for class time is we have a leadership class, credit-bearing class, where the teacher reached out and the students wanted to learn more about working with people. And so they all take a turn doing a placement and acting as a support co-op student in our class now, or in our various classes. They often divide and conquer, and 3 will go to one class and 3 will go to another class, and then they rotate through. We have an increased support for school initiatives, and that could be looking after the breakfast club and packing muffins for the guidance office, or it could be making school deliveries. We also have many more, again, with this initiative and just flagging it for our team of teachers that we want to have this integration going on regularly. CPP teachers have taken it upon themselves to organize game days or invite classes within our CPP world to joint trainings. So when we have community programs like Relationships and Me or Safe Food Handling come in, it's not just for the cooking class. It might be the cooking class and 3 other ESC students that want to have safe food handling knowledge for their potential co-op or employment job later on. Pictures during class time. So this is the Ram Express, which is our coffee cart. They deliver around the school to teachers and then work with money to sell the product. In the top left is a picture of a bulletin board that is in our CPP hallway, and it changes. We own it as a department, meaning we take ownership for changing it, and it is decorated by different classes. It rotates by month. And we do it for different occasions. It could be a multicultural holiday. Neurodiversity Month, school recognized events. And then the other two events are group gatherings. One of them was a Halloween party. One of them was a parent celebration. So at the end of every semester, parents come in and we showcase activities or learnings or events from the semester. And this is everybody joining together. This is one of my favorite experiences ever. There's a picture that's not showing up, but swimming is something that we do in our program. It is genuine, authentic interactions, and I believe that swimming is inclusion at its absolute finest. Swimming is an opportunity for all students to be at the same level. So we have ESC students who are on the swim team, and they interact with complete care students who are non-speaking and potentially in a wheelchair. Students get to be social and physically active. And this is not a new thing, but it's something that I felt needed to be showcased because it's something that we take pride in, and it's a great opportunity for our kids to truly interact. And there's just genuine joy that comes with swimming. Oh, there's the other picture. Okay, so now we're on to next steps, and this is where we're heading this year. We have kept integration as our goal to continue in the 2025-2026 school year. And each of the, as I mentioned, there's all of the EAs and teachers have signed up for one of the three teams based on the categories. They meet every couple weeks after school just for a quick check-in. It's about 15-20 minutes just to see if there's action plans that need to be accomplished. And where their progress is. So what I'm sharing with you here is actually the action plans of each of these teams. So the lunchtime team has closed the classroom at lunch to combine and shuffle students. And this has just encouraged a different group of interaction within our program. They are encouraging cafeteria interaction. And so that means we already have the group trips within CPP, but encouraging broadening out and interacting with other students that might be sitting or eating in the cafeteria. We have one student that submitted a proposal to the principal in order to be a DJ and look after playing music at lunch in the cafeteria. He was approved. So that will happen once a month. They are planning a movie time where kids will combine together in one of the classes, and they have organized a repeat game day for all that are interested. And the last one is related to the Eco Club, and there's often one student that takes on the ownership of watering the plants, but they are making a schedule so that other students can help her and work together on it. Next steps for extracurricular time. There are now duotangs of folders for each club and who is participating for part of that club. It exists in every classroom so that all the staff members can refer to who should be going where at lunch and who has shown interest in signing up for different activities. The transitions class is continuing to promote and support all the activities. We encourage students to go to extracurricular fairs that happen at lunch once each semester at our school. And the Best Buddies will be at events like the grade 8 to grade 9 night, just showcasing their program. And a new idea that we haven't tackled yet, but this team wants to make a CPP showcase video just to educate people on what happens in CPP. So it's not to learn about the students, it's to learn about the program and what kind of activities or classes even exist within the program. And the last category of next steps is class time. This is naturally occurring opportunities often exist here, but they're trying to create the almost like advertising that our students will make deliveries, and they, as a team, this group here finds meaningful school jobs. So they are going to be taking attendance amongst classes so that we know who's on the bus at the end of the day. They go to library visits, and multiple classes could be in the library at the same time interacting. At the end of the semester, there's a celebration, and that's where all classes will come together. We have asked a couple grads to return to talk about what they're doing in their future endeavors. And we have various CPP class teachers have reached out to, one of them has reached out to a science teacher to set up some co-curricular activities with the grade 9 science teacher, and another teacher has reached out to a grade 10 art teacher to create an activity to do together. This is just a brand new, we have a really great teacher who has run with, and this is not related to integration, but it has just flown into the act of, of the whole project. He has created these stations where students are either one, working on their communication skills, or two, working on supporting people in the school community. So the 3 stations on the right are reaching out to, I'm in the top bubble, science teachers in the bottom bubble, and then the cafeteria lady. And they have different strategies when they go into those 3 stations to offer their services or their help. And then the stations on the left are all about communication. There's a picture of microphones, so they're using them to interview different people and project their voice, as well as appropriately get answers for questions. The 2 boys in the middle are standing by a sign that says, "Can I ask you 2 questions?" And that could be to anybody that walks by them in the hall. And this is a class time activity. And this is just because I flagged that integration can also be between school and home. And we have planned at MMR a parent resource, a couple informal nights. And this is a parent's request. They just need an opportunity and a space in order to interact with each other. And so on Friday, December 5th, parents are invited, and we've invited past grad parents too. They're going to come and just gather. They're going to talk about 3 different topics. One of them is ODSP, passport, and DSO, so funding, a funding group, a funding station, then an extracurricular station, which isn't school extracurriculars, but after hours extracurriculars like Special Olympics. And then the 3rd group or topic is guardianship. And so we're going to run 2 of those in the year. The topics came from parents, and we will provide the facility and some advice, but really it's parents working with parents. And then Sierra, who's also here tonight, she is one of our key people that is helping with transitions and connecting with our families and helping us to run a community resource fair that will be on February 5th at MMR. And then this is just my final slide of warm fuzzies. These are 2 big takeaways and the value that I found in working through visible values and this whole SIPSA goal that was truly made authentic for CPP. From a team or an adult perspective, it led to authentic collaboration. With adults choosing what team they wanted to work for or what team they wanted to support, they took ownership and they had common focus. And then from the kids' success side, we can see growth and we can see change. We can see joy in the kids. There is increased sense of belonging by joining all of the different groups or having more connection to different friends that they might not have been able to interact with. And within our program, all of that becomes true, authentic integration. And that is it. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. I think we have a question. Go ahead, Melissa.
Hi there. Oh, that's very bright. Just wanted to say, as a parent of a student in a community pathways program who is just transitioning to the adult world, I heard you mention early on that you were looking to connect parents together, and then I didn't sort of get the follow-up with anybody on that committee to do that, because I do think, just from my own perspective, I think as they transition out of school, the community they build for those potentially 7-8 years at school is the community that would be great for them to live with and to interact with, etc. And the only way to make that happen is to really have parents connect. So I know my experience, and I've had a great experience at the CPP program, or my son has, and I have by extension. what I do think definitely is lacking is that, even when we have been invited to come to the school, it's for interviews and it's, staggered 15 minutes apart. There hasn't been that kind of family night where you can connect and sort of identify which kids would maybe mesh well in a living situation. So I would just, I'm not sure if you have any further on that, but if so, I would say that's a huge, huge priority for the parent on the parent side of it. And for students too, because the transition to a new living environment that is safe, but is also like activity filled. We know that the community living wait lists are so long that more and more parents are opting to go alone and to set up these living arrangements that are, I don't want to say private, but independently run. So to connect with people would be a real huge asset.
I can just reiterate the 3 things we do. So the very first one is at the end of every semester, when we showcase the kids' work, it's informal. So there are no interviews. So we have snacks. We have, while the kids take some time to present their work, there's the events, and this happens twice a year on semester turnaround, or on exam days. There's snack time. So it always starts with half an hour where it's called mix and mingle. Then there's a break in between the showcasing where it largely parents are drawn to kids that are interacting. So if there's 2 friends that are sitting together, then that's where their parents can first meet.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that, we now have a group of 28. Thank you for bringing this up. We have 28 students that go out for a dinner every Friday, the first Friday of every month. This was spearheaded by a parent. It was not school driven, but it is now created that community. So this year we had 4 new students move in from the Catholic School Board, and they have all joined into this family dinner night. But I can't take credit for that. That is one parent making it. This student graduates, and I foresee the connection continuing just because they find so much value. The 4 parents that have approached us to do now, so this is my 3rd example, that Friday informal night is literally, we'll provide you the space, you sit and you chat. And so we've got the 3 rotation sessions set up, and those 4 parents that are running that or have taken the initiative on that met each other through those dinners.
Okay, and so this would be like a Friday. So this would be different than going out to dinner night. This would be something held at the school as a location, but parent run to just connect.
Yep.
Okay.
And the 4th thing that I recommend is Special Olympics.
Yes.
So outside of dinners, there's lots of parents that have collaborated that way, just because their kids are in the same sports.
Yeah, the difficult part with Special Olympics, to be honest, is there's a lot of if the kids are too low functioning, there isn't activities for kids at Special Olympics. So it's, my husband and I often say it's not often you wish your kid was in the Special Olympics, but some kids can't even do that. So just getting a chance to meet with other parents with other sort of, very compromised kids would be great. So thank you for that info. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you, Stephanie, for sharing the work at MMR. It's absolutely amazing, the work that you and the team are leading with students. I just want to pick up on the pieces around the work you're doing with parents and also on Melissa's comments. I think over the years it's a theme we've heard at SEAC around this real need for parents to build a connection. For their time in school, but then for life after school. And some of the things that you're describing, I think are really unique and perhaps very MMR. And I know that the CCAs and administrators come together a few times a year to share effective practices across our sites. And I wonder if I could nudge you to share this with the group and really spark that conversation and go deeper in how do we build these networked communities for our parents, because it is really so critical while they're in school, but also for life after school. So thank you.
Are there any other questions online or in the room? Yes. Oh, sorry. Melissa says agreed. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so if there are no other questions for Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us this evening. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed seeing the pictures. Sort of seeing the practical application of the theory is fantastic. It looks like a great environment to be in. So thank you to you and your whole team for everything that you do. So we'll move on now to the next item in our agenda, which is the budget presentation discussion in breakout rooms. At our last meeting, the Superintendent of Business Services, Roxana Nagoy, joined us to provide a presentation on the current year budget and some considerations around planning for next year, which has already started. The slides from that presentation were provided to all of us after the meeting and also attached to the email that we received on Friday with the agenda for tonight. Committee members were asked to think about what was presented last month and consult with their associations, if appropriate, to be prepared to break out into smaller groups this evening for some discussion. So I'll pass it over to Colette to give us some direction on how we'll proceed to do that.
So we really want to keep it open and flexible. We'll draw your attention to a couple of the slides in that deck to really get us thinking about not only in special education, but across the board. There were some prompts in the slide deck around things that that are fixed costs and flexible costs. So I think that's a place to start. But then, of course, we want to hear from you around special education supports and services in particular. And we'll gather notes from the conversation and then bring it back to our December meeting, perhaps in a full group setting, most likely to share the feedback from both groups, so you hear what the other group has suggested, and then really kind of continue to gather your thoughts and new ideas. So really open, really flexible. We'll do the people in this room are going to move to the trustee workroom, and the people that are virtual will stay obviously in the virtual meet with Carol and I. And we've kind of budgeted about I think 20 or 25 minutes for this, but that also can be flexible. If we're deep in the conversation, we can extend it based on how much time we have in the agenda, or if we're stalled and not coming up with suggestions for this evening, we can shorten that time and come back to it again in December. So really open and flexible to all of you and your needs and your contributions. So thank you.
Sorry. So welcome back to the live stream portion of the meeting. So we've had our two groups have come back together, physically gathered back into our meeting room. We had some great discussions with both online participants of the committee and in person. And so we will revisit this topic in our December meeting around budget and talk about some of the ideas and thoughts that were shared today. So ongoing discussion. It's as was mentioned by Superintendent Ngoy at the last meeting, the budgeting process has started a little bit earlier this year, so there's a bit more time for consultation, discussion, and pondering of the challenges and opportunities in budgeting. So we'll move on now to the next section of our agenda, which is the communications to SEAC, and start with the superintendent's report, if that's okay, Colette.
I just have two short things for you. We've just launched what's called, the board, just launched the Aspen Parent Portal. So if you're a parent in the system, you may have gotten an invitation to join. I joined myself, and it's an amazing way now for parents to receive, for example, their child's report card. So as we unfold this across the system, we won't be sending paper copies of report cards home, and we won't be sending the paper copy of the IEP when we get there. We're not there yet, but eventually we'll be able to send the IEP through the parent portal, and I believe the parents will be able to send it back to us signed through the parent portal. We'll also be looking to be able to send our IPRC documentation, psychoeducational assessments. So it's going to be an amazing resource, and then it stays there. So it houses these resources for you within this portal so that you don't have to go looking for them. They're all in one spot for you. So a great resource as it unfolds across the system and as we fold in the added elements such as the IEP. So the IEP is not there yet, but it will be coming. And the other thing we wanted to touch on was sports day. So Conan's going to share a little bit about that.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I can speak to that. So in October, we had two incredible sports festival days at Mattamy National Cycling Center. Students with special needs all across Halton got to showcase their amazing talents and teamwork. There were smiles everywhere, supportive cheers. It was truly an inspiring 2 days. Thank you to Special Olympics Ontario, who we've partnered with, and we continue to partner with them. They've been great partners with us. And we want to let everyone know that we'll be doing 2 more days in the spring. It will be March 25th and 26th. So we encourage everyone to come out from 10 to 1. We will send some reminders throughout the winter and the spring. But if you have a chance to come, it really is truly an inspiring, fun day. So thank you for all those who helped participate in that.
And that's everything for me, but I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay, I don't think I see any hands raised. Thank you so much, Colette. So we'll move on now to association reports. Are there any associations that would like to share anything this evening? Okay, again, not seeing any hands raised, so thank you. We'll move now to item 4.3, which is the trustees. Oh, sorry. Did I see a hand? Oh, Sierra, please go ahead.
It was brought up by Stephanie earlier in her presentation, but this coming February, we'll be hosting a resource fair for families and students at Robinson. Well, it's hosted at it's also open to the families in the CPP programs. So that's something exciting coming up that I'm happy to share with the SEAC committee.
Thank you so much, Sierra. Okay, I don't see any other hands raised. So I'd invite Trustee Zhang to provide the trustees report. Thank you.
Okay. This coming weekend, November 15th, we will have an exciting weekend. This is a peak conference. So for parents who already registered with this event and with the transportation request, you can check your email, the pickup time and the location already sent to the parents who registered with the transportation request. And if the parents miss the registration and you still need the transportation support, you may send email to any PIC member so we can find if there's any seat available for you. And the second one is about, okay, now we are in November, and a lot of parents, they are considering to register their children for the next school year to IB program, iSTEM program, pre-IB, or French immersion. So most of the programs, the application deadline are in December and January. So please check, if you are very interested to those programs, please check the HDSB, those program pages, and find how to apply and the application deadline. Oh, also, this is if the parents are planning for optional attendance, that means you will transfer your children to another school outside of the school boundary. This is also, there will be a deadline, application deadline is in January and in February. So for elementary school and the secondary school, they have different deadline. And the third one is about, I received some questions from parents regarding, some parents receive a letter from Halton Region Public Health about the immunization program. Says if the children they miss some immunization and it is not updated the records with the public health, the student can get the suspension. And I will say there are several reasons the parents receive the letter. It could be the children miss an immunization, or the records is inaccurate or incomplete with public health. So if that is the case, the parents just use the children's health card to and find Halton Region Immunization Program webpage and just enter the health card number, and you can update and make a correction. Or at the end, the last step is you can take a picture or scan the children, the yellow card, and just upload. And Halton Region Public Health can update and verify that for you, and the problem will be resolved. Okay, that's everything for today.
Thank you very much. So our next item is our committee reports. So we have representatives from SEAC that sit on two committees, the Accessibility and Coordinating Committee, sorry. That's our Vice Chair, Katie, who's not with us this evening. And Kate, I believe you have a meeting coming, right?
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes, although it sounds like there's only 2 meetings this year, one now and one in the spring. I guess that's because the last year was the planning for the three-year plan. So this year I believe it's all focused around suicide prevention, the meeting tomorrow. I'm not sure what the spring agenda is, but that seems to be the current focus, is suicide prevention.
So we can look forward to maybe a bit of an update in December from that one. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So our next item is the next agenda order paper. So if anyone has anything that they would like added to an upcoming agenda, you can please raise your hand now. But as always, any suggestions or thoughts on the agenda or the activities of SEAC, you can always reach out to Laura by email and provide that feedback. It's always welcome. So I don't see any other hands raised or any questions. So that brings us to the adjournment. We have exhausted our agenda for the evening. So we will look forward to seeing everyone at our next meeting, which is December 10th at the usual time of 7 p.m.